Alright, that is the knee slice, also known as the knee cut. Welcome back, team. So, this next week, we're going to be covering our last part of our passing series. In this series, I'm going to show you guys how to pass through your opponent's guard using knee slice, which has two different variations. And I really recommend you focusing on this knee slice because another pass that I'm going to throw on top of this requires you guys to have a solid understanding of the knee slice entry. Alright, and this is called the twister pass. Alright, so work on the knee slice, nail that down, and then I'll show you guys the twister pass in another video. Alright, you guys know how I make these videos. I'm gonna go start to finish, pillow, dummy, and then I'll break it down, starting with the pillow again, and then I'll use Mario, and I'll break down all the steps for you guys. Let's get started. Alright, kicking right off into this. Where's my pillow? Alright, let's break it down. The breakdown. 6 steps. First, I gotta identify what my opponent is doing. Right? They might have both of their legs up, their knees up, or they might be staggered. Alright? Either way, I'm looking to get into my setup, part number 2. So, what I need to do to get set up is I need to take 2 steps. 1 deep step, 2 wide step. For little kids, super young, my beginning students, Amanda, Coach JR, I recommend getting the setup in, just like we've been practicing the other moves. Dial this in first, alright? We want to close the range, that's the goal. 1, 2, a deep step and a wide step. Nice base and balance. Alright, a lot of times, ask your kids, hey, is that deep enough? Is that wide enough? Do you think you have good base and balance? Because we know the goals, challenge them, make it fun. Alright, that way the enjoyment keeps going on. So this is my setup. Eventually, right, we want to combine it. This is like the super duper basic version. Eventually, we're gonna need the setup to have a couple more pieces. So, as I step in, I'm gonna place my hand on the hip, and I take my wide step as I lower my base and balance. I wanna staple across the thigh, right? Now, you can't see it with the pillow, but I'll go ahead and take Mario out right now. Nobody who trains Jiu Jitsu is gonna let you step in and do nothing. Alright, if they did nothing, then there's no technique. I'm just gonna hop over. Right? There's no defense. So a very common reaction if the opponent doesn't already have their knee up, right? They're right here, they're gonna bring their shield up even higher. Right? So that's why I need to place my weight on his leg, on the hip, and I'm right here. Alright? But initially, we're just taking that first 1-2 step, deep and wide, just to make it easy. Once I'm here, I'm ready for action step number 1. Alright? What I need to do is I'm just circling my elbow towards the inside. This simulates getting the inside position. Alright? So that's checkpoint number 1. Checkpoint number 2. Right now, my shin is directly making contact with my opponent's thigh. what I need to do is turn to my hip. Boom. I get nice and flat. This enables me to cut across and drive my weight forward. All right? So action step number one, pummel your elbow towards your center line and get to your hip pocket. Action step number two, my goal is to slide and get my body past their leg. All right? So two things that I gotta look out for. I gotta bring my knee to my opponent's ear, and I gotta keep going until the foot pops. All right? Once my foot pops, I'm in. All right? You've completely passed your opponent's guard by knee slicing through their guard. All right? Action number three, I gotta secure my position. So I'm tight. Number one, I'm looking for that underhook. All right, I'm looking for that underhook, and I'm going hip to hip. If you're cutting close enough from the get-go, you should already be making contact with the hip. All right, when you work on this with the real opponent, parents, maybe you could try this out.
Parents, just for a little bit more clarity, what I mean by this is you can be a training partner with your kids. So they can try this move on you and get hip bone to hip bone.
Size difference might come into play, but you should be able to feel hip bone to hip bone. A little bone sticking out, guys, right? That's your hip bone. So if you can make contact with your opponent, you know that you're tight enough and you're gonna solidify your position. I'm trying to close up this space. Really good people are gonna be able to bring their knee up if I give them too much space, right? And I tighten everything up with this far side underhook, right? Again, this is the closer side to me. We're training Jiu Jitsu, so we're making close contact with our training partners and our opponents. So far side, I mean the arm that's further away from me, right? Kids are like, what do you mean he's right there? What do you mean that's the far side? He's right there, I can see him. All right, well in Jiu Jitsu, this is close quarters. So this one's closer to me. This is what I mean by the far side. I reach underneath and I get ready for my finish. The final step, step number 6, I gotta make sure, double checking them nice and tight. I got my underhook, I got my gable grip. And how do I know I'm close enough? Boom, I bring my shoulder down to close up all this space and to give my opponent a shoulder kiss, all right? If they can kiss my shoulder, that means I'm in tight enough. All right, let's move on to Mario. You doing so good, Ernie? All right, so step 1, I identify what my opponent is doing so that I can get ready for step number 2, my setup. My opponent, again, is in open guard. So whether he's seated up like this, both his shields are up and active, or he's in this staggered position here with the knee shield up on the ground, or maybe floating in the air, I identified that. So I'm coming low, I'm ready. My guard is up, I'm aware, I'm in my attack stance. I'm gonna be cutting over to my left. So I'm gonna be using my right leg. So my right leg is my lead leg. Step 2. All right, I take a deep step right in front of his crotch and a wide step. Again, do this a bunch of times, all right? Ernie, off the mat. I recommend doing this a bunch of times until you build this reaction. Because a lot of times people won't step they'll step too far, all right? Or they won't take the second step, they'll just step here, right? So you're leaving your soldier behind. You gotta make sure everybody's up and ready, all right? I'm not down here, all right? I'm ready to go. Super low, I'm alert. Right? Part of the setup is just getting a bunch of those reps in. But eventually, right? This is kind of like a 2-parter. You're gonna need your hands in play too. So as soon as I deep step, right? A trained opponent is gonna bring their knee up. So as soon as I take that deep step, I'm automatically going towards the hip, bringing my knee down on their thigh to secure this inside position, and my wide step gives me good base and balance. All right? Eventually, we want to get here as soon as possible. So I know it's a lot, guys. I'm cutting over to my left. My right leg is the lead leg. 1, 2, and I'm here. Okay? Now, once I'm here, I'm set up, I'm getting ready for action step number 1. Now with the dummy, you can see that I need to get this inside position so I can pummel here. I gotta maintain my forward stance, right? I'm not going out too wide, right? If I'm too wide, I give him the opportunity to come up. If my hand is up, dangling around, I give him something to grab onto, so I'm nice and tight. I need to go forward a little bit, get my elbow inside, and then I come back. Everything's tight to my body so that I can get the inside position. A real dude is still going to be bringing up his knee shield. He's gonna try to dig for it, all right? But I got it now. Once I have that inside position, that's check number 1. Checkpoint number 2, I get from my shin to my hip pocket. This changes the angle and it lets me get ready for action step number 2, right? I need to enter now. I'm still stuck, right? My foot is not in the party. So the whole goal is to get my whole body past this leg. 2 things I gotta watch out for, all right? My goal is to bring my knee all the way up to his ear, all right? I keep going until checkpoint number 2, check out, bam! You could feel it when your foot pops, all right? And look how tight I am to Mario. I'm rubbing up against him, right? Action step number 3, I gotta secure my position. So immediately I'm looking for this underhook, right? If you're a little far, this underhook is also gonna help you pull yourself close, right? And I'm looking for my hip to hip connection, hip bone to hip bone. Usually they'll have their arms up here, framing, pushing up against you, but option, you can grab onto their tricep and assist yourself, right? Pull yourself in tighter. Now, once I've secured my position, I gotta finish it up, I gotta tighten it up. Gotta make sure I stay in by going under the head, getting my gable grip, making sure everything is tight, and then boom, checking to see if he could kiss my shoulder. If he could kiss my shoulder, that means I've closed up all this space, I'm nice and tight, and I'm close. He's not gonna be able, right? I wanna prevent him from getting this frame in and pushing me away, right? So my head is blocking. One thing that I'm always asking myself is how many walls can I create with my body, right? My entire body, even my head, right? Keep training, keep evolving, keep studying these moves, keep watching these videos, and do me a favor and like it on the video. That's gonna help boost it up so more people can see it. And this is our last move, right? So we've covered going over, under, around, and through. So as the weeks go by, I'm gonna give you guys some extra things to sprinkle on each one of these passes, and I'm gonna show you guys how to combine them together and develop a method on how to make your own combos, all right? So stick around for that, keep training. I'll see you guys in class.